thanks for tuning in. Today I want to share a quick video on the AIR DIOR collection, as well as some of my thoughts on what it's like to do some luxury shopping in New York City now that the lockdowns have slowly lifted and the boutiques have opened up again for retail shopping. The AIR DIOR collection is a highly anticipated Dior men's collaboration that has finally launched, I should say. It was supposed to launch, I want to say, the end of March or early April, I think was the original target. And of course, a lot of things have happened in the last 4 months, so that's why they postponed the launch to July. I was fortunate enough to be invited by my SA, if you will, to check out the ready-to-wear and accessories collection before it launched publicly. By the time this video goes live, I believe the collection is available in boutiques. I got to check it out a few days before July 8th, the official public launch of the ready-to-wear and accessories collection. I want to share some snippets of what that experience was like, and then also with the different boutiques opening up in New York City, there are a lot of different protocols, if you will, in place for how you should be shopping at those places. This is specific to New York City, and of course the whole situation is very fluid and it's changing on a daily basis, but I still thought it would be helpful to share at least what I know and what I experienced so that you know what to expect. It was not on display because it's not publicly available, so all the items that were on display were really the Stussy collection, and in one of the fitting rooms they had placed all of the ready-to-wear on a rail, and you could see all the pieces there. And you can see all the accessories laid out on a tray, and we just were able to ask for certain things in different sizes to be able to try them on. So as you can see, the collection, it definitely maintains a bit of a sporty vibe, as you would expect. I didn't know what to expect when it came to fabrics, if you will. I didn't know if it was going to seem really like athletic material or if it was going to be more of like Dior tailoring, and actually I was pleasantly surprised. It was a combination of both. They had the shorts that were made in more of like a tailored cut, and then they had shorts that were made in more of a athletic material. It's not quite like the nylon like swishy material in like a windbreak jacket. It wasn't that thin. It was definitely thicker, but the other pair of shorts did have a sheen to them. The polos were very, very lightweight. Actually very clean cut. I didn't think I would like the polos as much, but they were very clean cut. And the shirts, the t-shirt was like a sweatshirt material, not with like a fleece lining, but you know how sweatshirts are a little bit thicker than your standard cotton t-shirt. So it was a heavier weight, and it had like the little stitching that you sometimes get in a crew neck sweatshirt with like the little V stitching. Then there were also some button downs that were really cute with the AIR DIOR kind of stamp on the corner above the pocket, or half of it was above, half of it was on the pocket. That was also very, very cute, but my boyfriend and I both were a little disappointed that it wasn't an embroidery and that it was just a screen print. I think we would have much preferred if the button downs had more of an embroidery element to it so that it wouldn't wash off over time. And then when it came to the accessories, there were some pocket squares, there was like a card wallet and a lanyard name tag accessory, as well as socks and a keychain for sure. That I definitely remember seeing as part of the collection. The color scheme was pretty much white, gray, which to me looked more like a cement gray, so not quite fully cool tone neutral gray, but it's a little more beigey gray, and navy. The navy is dark enough that at first glance it looks like it's black, but it's actually navy. Overall, it looks pretty clean. Married the two brands pretty well, so you have that sporty element and you have that like fabric quality and things like that, so that's kind of how the two married. And I think the pieces of the collection overall have a nice general appeal. I do have to note that the prices, I mean, the shirts and the pants, I think their prices are pretty consistent with Dior men's ready-to-wear average price. So it's not like they really put a premium on that side. But I think on some of the accessories, there was a little bit of a premium that was added to it. I think maybe because they anticipated the accessory pieces would sell more. But like the socks were $270. And like, say what? Well, that's the collection. I have this Dior bag out because I did purchase something from Dior, but I am going to dedicate a separate haul video to it just so that I can spend a little bit more time on the pieces that I did pick up. So stay tuned for that video. That will probably be my next video on Sunday. I want to also shift gears a little bit and share what it's like to do luxury shopping in New York City right now. And this is, you know, the beginning of July 2020. So things can definitely change by the middle of July, and I'm sure they will be different by the end of July. But at least in the beginning of July, this has been my experience so far. All of the houses seem to have slightly different protocols in place, and I'm not calling anybody out for being better or worse. It's totally fine that people decide different procedures work for their teams. At a minimum, all the stores require you to wear a mask, and the boutiques will have hand sanitizer once you enter so that you can use as before you start browsing. And I do believe all of the stores will also provide a mask should you not have one. The SAs that I work with are often part of the Hudson Yards shopping complex. Because that's considered a mall, it is currently closed. It is not open to the public. So I'm still able to place orders with my SAs. They are having a very skeleton crew come into the shops to process some of the orders, but you are not able to really go inside to even really pick up your items. I have been able to pick up curbside, and that's because they've been nice enough to bring out the items to me. So that's how I've been shopping from Hudson Yards in particular. I'm not sure what phase they're included in, but I think there's been a lot of fluidity in when the malls can open, so that's why the Hudson Yards complex is not open to the public yet. However, the boutiques on Fifth Avenue are open. Fifth Avenue, Madison Avenue, all of those like flagship boutiques are open. I did go to the Fendi flagship boutique on Madison Ave. There I was able to browse, also use the fitting rooms to try on. I know in some countries the fitting rooms are not in use, but I was able to use the fitting room in New York City. The thing to note about Fendi is that any item that you try on that you do not take home has to end up in quarantine for 24 hours. So they will set that item aside before they put it back on the floor for someone to be able to try on. Which for me, I know that made me think about the pieces that I was going to try on because I didn't want to unnecessarily touch something and have it get put in quarantine just because I touched it. I did notice that the Louis Vuitton had someone who's by the door who would take your name down for an appointment, if you will. So they were telling the folks that they'd have to wait about 5 minutes or so before they can get into the store. I think that's their way of managing the number of people who are coming into the boutique so that everyone can maintain adequate distance. Dior store, when I went to the AIR Dior, you saw that I was in a fitting room. We were able to try on clothes. I don't think they explicitly put the tried on pieces into quarantine. I definitely think some elements have changed. Now they might not be as forthcoming with some of that, and that's only because of some of the restrictions that are in place and the precautions that they're putting in place, not so much because they don't want to, give you a nice experience. They were managing the number of people who come inside, especially because a lot of the boutiques have a very skeleton crew and they don't want to be overwhelmed with the number of customers who come in. From what I could tell, they also weren't trying to overly rush anybody, so that might be why you see there's a long line out the door for some of the boutiques. That's because they're crowd controlling and they're also trying to ensure you still have a good experience and you're not rushed. I definitely feel like the luxury buying experience is a bit different. I'm not saying I hate it, and it's not so off-putting to the point that I won't continue to purchase, but it definitely has changed it for me. I'm somebody who likes to just browse, see what's there, and then try on a lot of different things, because a lot of times there's something in that mix that initially I may not have expected to like that I end up liking. That's usually how I find things. I'm usually more a visual person. I have to see it, and then kind of it gives me more ideas of what I can do with it rather than just seeing like a static image. So I'm somebody who likes to be in the shop to just be able to browse, just be able to freely look at things, try them on without much concern. Nowadays, I know that's not the most ideal way. I've definitely found myself refraining a lot more, and that's what made it a little bit less enjoyable for me. But I know I have faith with time that we will all get through this, and there will be a sense of normalcy that comes back. It might be a new normal. There might be some things that are a little bit different still, but I'm sure with time we will eventually get to that place. Hermes, I believe we're going to do appointments and curbside pickup. I opted for the items to get shipped to me. They were waiving all of the shipping costs, and they were sending it via FedEx 1 or 2 day shipping. It's like super fast shipping. They were waiving all the shipping fees so that you wouldn't feel like you have to go to the store to pick it up. And to clarify, because the Chanel boutique that I work with is part of the Hudson Yards and Hudson Yards is closed, Chanel boutique in Neiman's is definitely only doing phone orders, and they're shipping out the items to you. A lot of boutiques are doing appointments only or some sort of appointment system. So if you are interested in going to the store itself, you may want to call the boutique and confirm how they are managing people coming into the store. And I think that will give you the most accurate information to plan for your trip. Okay. I wanted this video to be a little fun, with a little preview of the AIR Dior ready-to-wear, and also informative on what to expect should you be trying to do some luxury shopping. I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions on anything at all, feel free to leave them down below or head on over to Instagram, and I'd be happy to help however I can. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate all your feedback and support. And like I mentioned, I will have my Dior haul. That will likely be my next video, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I post new fashion-related videos every Sunday. So until next time, bye!